Thanks, Ian. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Parks for putting this on. For those of you who don't know me, I'm currently the chair of the Cascade Grotto in Seattle. And me and a bunch of folks here, like Doug and some other folks I don't see right now, founded this club, the Northern Rocky Mountain Grotto, in 2000 when we all moved to Montana and there was no caving club here. And as you can imagine, we're 19 years and we've got a heck of an organization. So before we start my presentation, I want to say the reason we are a grotto is because we're an internal organization of the National Speleological Society, right? So if you don't know about the NSS or you're not currently a member, you should look into it. They're the largest cave advocacy, conservation, and stewardship organization in the United States, probably in the world, and we're one of the most respected cave organizations in the world. So look into the NSS, support the NSS, that's why we're all here. All right, this is Scapegoat. Scapegoat is a wilderness area in Montana that has 239,000 acres. It's part of the 1.2 million acre Bob Marshall Wilderness Complex, along with the Great Bear Wilderness. Scapegoat Mountain is the highest peak on the Continental Divide in Montana, 9202. So I debated about what to tell you guys about Scapegoat today, because I know I would see a lot of new faces. A lot of folks have been here, and people started exploring the Scapegoat area in the early 70s. What I would like to see you guys do is come out to Scapegoat. So really, this is a pitch to get you to come cave in with us. This is usually where we set up base camp. This is a tarn below the cave. This is the entrance to the cave right here. It's 135 feet tall. You can see it for about 2 miles away as you're approaching. And it's just a magnificent mountain surf. It was mentioned in Campbell's 1978 Caves of Montana. Newell and his brother, Roger, and a couple other folks started going out to Scapegoat in the 70s, and they found a bunch of stuff that we are still exploring and still trying to catch up to them today. Scapegoat Plateau is about 7 square miles, and it's probably one of the biggest alpine karst landscapes in Montana. It actually dwarfs Silvertip, and it doesn't get any attention. You've probably never heard of it, even if you have heard of Silvertip. And part of the reason why, as you're about to find out, is there's not a lot of deep caves. And what happened in the 70s is all the cavers decided to start chasing depth records around the United States, right? And then what happened, they all went to Mexico, and they're still there. All right? So this is Scapegoat Mountain. This is the entire part of the plateau here. This is the head of the Green Fork Surf, and this is Scapegoat Prow. And along the cliffside here are many entrances that still have never been entered by cavers. They're 300 plus foot tall cliffs. We know Jason Blinsky and Hans have been dropping into cliffside and their crew cliffside caves for years now. So we're hoping that maybe one of them will come out and toss a rope off this cliff and see what's in there. All right, so this is another part of the plateau. You can see this is all karst. For the 7 square miles, there's no surface drainage. All of the water on the plateau sinks into it. So it's again, classic alpine karst terrain. And then over here is Flint Mountain. And so between these two, you have a surface divide here. And you have caves at 8,000 feet over here. And we have a cave resurgence down here. It gives us about 1,400 feet of depth potential. But this is what it looks like in May. So for those of you guys that haven't been caving in the mountains, as you know in Montana, we have a pretty short season. So I became a private pilot in 2001, and we started flying over Scapegoat before we ever hiked out there to see what it's like. So we're like, okay, let's go in May, right? Summertime. No. Now, the thing about May, though, right here is the entrance to the cave. And right below the cave, right here, is a waterfall. It's about 150-foot waterfall. And it's a spring resurgence for the miles-long river system that's inside this cave. So this cave entrance right here and a couple others drain this entire plateau snow mountain every spring. And imagine what difference a month makes. So here we go. We fly back a month later. And as you can see here now, not only is there a waterfall, but there's actually two waterfalls. An interesting hydrological aspect of this cave is the overflow waterfall comes out at a lower level of elevation than the actual main flow. Nobody knows. And here's another star. So what happened in 2003 while we're flying around, we saw more waterfalls out of more holes in the cliffs along this entire circuit. So there's 7 caves along this one cliff face, about 2 miles, that total right now about 7 miles of passage. And all of them have going leads. And again, when it comes to caving, this is what it's all about, right? This is the cover of the 1974 NSS News. This is the entrance to Cathys Icebox. This is how you usually get into the entrance. And this is about a foot, about a shoe width. There's me doing it on the second and last time I will ever do it. Brian pioneered the let's just hike all the way around and throw a rope off the top and get your technique, and it's way low, way less factor. So this is all the ice that's left in Cathys Icebox. When they were going in there in the 70s, it was wall-to-wall ice. Cathys Icebox is characterized by big, long canyon passages, 40, 60 feet tall. And you guys that understand cave formation, these canyons can hold intersecting passages at the top at any point. And nobody's going to be able to go 5 feet, climb all the way up and down. And that's why all of these caves they're never done, right? You can't do a cave. It's going to keep going. So we knew that the rumor was that Cathys Icebox and Green Fork Falls, which are right next to each other on the same cliff face, about 150 feet apart, connected somewhere inside the cave. And so back in 2008, my brother Mike and Brian and I led a super late night trip. We don't do early caving trips on my trips, by the way. Crack at noon, coffee. We get in by the time it's dark. That's usually how we go caving. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you see here, we've got etriers, 8 climbing gear, and I step into the source of the river Yoth, that's it was named, and I go off for like 20 minutes, and of course, my brother and Brian are like, no way. And so finally they come along. It's literally, you don't need a rope or anything. You just step across the gap, but it's like 25 feet down to water, and so it's pretty intimidating. But basically what we found that night was the connection passage and a whole series of upper level passages that despite thorough exploration by folks in the 70s and indications people have been there, we never knew this upper level area existed. And so this is one of the greatest nights of caving in my life, because every corner we went around was a brand new passage and more formations that you've seen anywhere else in this cave. And then we found places where there's an entire hallway where rock is floating on water. Did you know about this? How rock can float on water? Calcite racks. This entire passage had not been disturbed in so many years that from wall to wall, it was solid calcite floating on water. Pretty amazing. All right, so upper level passages, kind of like this. Green Fork is this entrance. Cathys Icebox is the one right next to it. And then in 2008, we actually made the connection passage. We could see the survey, the tape marker from the top of Cathys Icebox. We were at the ceiling. We didn't have the gear to climb down, but we could actually see it close enough to take a picture with the digital camera and then zoom in on it, and we could see the station. So we went back next year the other way. As we were counting up, we knew once we got to station 108, all we had to do was look up and there was a connection point. So my wife, Kat, Brian, and I in 2015 went through, and we actually are the first people ever to actually go in the entrance of Green Fork, come out the entrance to Cathys Icebox. It's an amazing trip. It's fraught with peril. And if you guys read diligently the American caving accidents that NSF puts out, you know what I'm talking about. I almost completely screwed us. Brian can think on his feet, and I tend to panic, so you don't want me on a cave trip, really. All right. So I was going to show some more pictures, but I'm running out of time, so I thought I would just wrap this up with some interpretive dance. Okay. There's a person there for scale. Entrance, again, is pretty massive. Another person standing here. It's a beautiful area. It's about a 13-mile hike. It's pretty level along Straight Creek, and there's no real hills or anything until you get to the cave. About an hour and a mile from the base camp to the caving area, and there's a river system. And this is us in 2015. I'm proud to say that my wife is the third documented woman to swim in this river, and we're very proud of that, along with Cathys Jen and Cathys, who Cathys Icebox is named after, and Tina's shirt, Tina Oliphant. It's very cold. It's 33, 34 degree water, and you have a full wetsuit on and Arctic gloves and feet. And by the time we got back here, none of us could feel our feet at all, like wooden bricks. It's pretty tough. So we're trying to rig out of the water. There's going leads at the end of this passage. It continues. This is called the Steel Traverse. Bill Steele put that up, and probably that actual rope in 1977. That's my wife crossing it. Here's Brian on the way back. And basically the whole river passage, there's paleo passages above the main passage. And so there's places where you can bypass and climb out of the water. There's also lots of swimming that you can do. So this cave has got everything. This is one of my favorite photos. Pretty much encapsulates the Scapegoat Cave system. You don't have to get wet, by the way. The river passage is a single passage, and it's 4+ mile long. We've been remapping it since 2006. We've got a long way to go, but luckily procrastination has helped because of technology. Now we have this direct, and for all the remapping, now we already have the map. We just need the data. We're going to regenerate the data by running through it. So this August, the last week of August, we're going to have a trip. If you're interested, we have 14-person limit and for 7 days. This is the SS Tippy. We can't read maps, and so we decided we needed to go through here. And after Ed Goodell and Brian and I had gone through here the year before with full wetsuits, only go around the corner right there and in. That's a lot of work to put the wetsuit on and then dry after that. So we thought, oh, we'll bring a boat, except it's too narrow. So Brian was like halfway, up and down, sideways. And then we thought, hey, look, if you look at the map, there's a bypass passage right here. Climb up and over, and you don't even have to get wet. So pay attention to the maps. They reveal a lot of stuff. Okay, so this is the entrance to Cathys Icebox. This is the entrance to Green Fork Falls. And they connect about a mile or so to the cave. When I made this map, which is a while back, all the old is the stuff that we've resurveyed or discovered. And then this is the river. There's a cave dive back here. This is about 6 hours. And so we figure it's probably about 10 hours with scuba tanks, but there's definitely a project back here. And then also in the back of Cathys Icebox, the water goes into the mountain. So we're continuing to resurvey this. And this is the crux of the connecting passage. This is as wide as you see, and this is where, on the last trip through, the only through trip, I dropped the rope that we were going to use to rappel out of the entrance of the icebox into that water and it's over your head. And we didn't think we were going to get wet, so we didn't have wetsuits. I still dipped in trying to fish it with my foot. It's not happening. And so I started yelling expletives over and over. And my wife and Brian were like, dude, chill. We could just go back. So we didn't. We used 2 of Brian's pack straps and a couple of slings and a little piece of crappy rope and this accessory cord. And we put those together. And then that got us down enough to use the tiny rope we had to rappel back to base camp, which was from the entrance here. You're looking across. We camped at the entrance here, and we were tantalizingly close, and it was one of those, you could imagine like being stranded and you're yelling, and then the camera like zooming out from you, in this massive wilderness by yourself. You're hopeless. All right, this is the lead. This is the best lead we left. Nobody's been in this part of the cave, and no one has reported any water in this level. And this goes around a corner and out of sight, and this is where we're going back to first thing in August. There's the Cathys Plateau. This is the thing I was telling you about earlier. It's quite extensive, about 8 square miles. It's got every kind of karst you can imagine up there. It's purgatory for cavers because there's about 1,000 pits and no real caves. So it's like if you went to caver purgatory and you spend the rest of your life just wandering this plateau. I'm really selling this, aren't I? All right. Well, guess what? We've marked 1,000 pits up there, so you don't have to go to those. And we've found multiple caves, including this one left-handed pit. That's 250 feet. That's got 5 feet. That's got 500 feet of passage. Aerial shot from July 2003. Completely massive. We shortcut our trip to the plateau on a 200-foot rope off the cliff to save hours. This is a human use cave that's up on top. There's evidence of habitation. This excavated and found to have 14,000-year-old artifacts in it. I'm not telling you where it is. This is the deepest cave in the plateau. That is the log that they used to rappel off of in 1974. It's been sitting there ever since. It's that same log. So it's a slog if you're expecting deep caves. It's not happening. All right. That's most of the presentation. I just have a few minutes, so I'm just going to zip through these, the kinds of things we see. We see 6 inches of snow overnight in August. We stay up all night. We see hummingbird that comes back every day. Bee flies, sign of good luck for caving. A badger. Lots of beautiful alpine meadows. All raspberries. Something that scares the hell out of me. I don't know what it is, but it's scary. And it's got to come from somewhere else, and it has to be bad. And that's kind of bad. And that's really good. It's a trophy. And we use horses. And I know people sometimes say, why I use horses for a 14-mile flat hike? Because I'm on vacation. And it's still a lot of work, right? So we put up a wall tent, pretend like we're in Nepal. Or we use a high line and a tarp and tarpology skills. And we bring too much crap. And we eat and we drink 5 pounds of coffee between me and Brian and my wife in 1 week. And we drink. And we make a tartanic, which is a log raft. Had a maiden voyage and ended all the same time. And I don't know if this is illegal. I know there's a bunch of agency folks in here. Does anybody know the statutes or whatever on harvesting ice? We harvested that ice in Cathys Icebox that could be, 1,000 years old or more. And some outfitters bought us a bottle because we showed them the cave. They just showed up with it. And so we made, hopefully, 1,000-year-old ice cocktails. It was a great trip. And we're looking forward to having another one. Take care of our backs. And thank you for supporting the Northern Rocky Mountain Grotto. And we'll see you out there.